my goodness, it is so good to be able to sit down and talk with you because the month has just gotten away from me. You know how it goes. I mean, it's just between all the stuff going on with my kids and needing to be there for my family and just being sick and my husband being sick, it's just feels good to sit down and be able to chat where I am as far as my I'm on a no buy goes. So I have a lot of big news to share with you. Really, really big news. Let's go on and start off with that first. As far as my makeup collection goes, I have really gone through in the last month. I've been ruthless with what I've decided to keep, what I've decided to purge. I guess maybe we should start with kind of what's on my wish list. I've got a couple things going for Christmas that I'd like to get. I did put the Kat Von D Mi Vida Loca remix palette on my Christmas wish list. I really am kind of hoping that I get that because like I said, I was really ruthless with my eyeshadow in particular this past month because I finally I've hit a point where I'm done. I'm done using old eyeshadow. And funny story, at the beginning of this month, I was in, back in my hometown, one of my cousins got married, and my sister is also kind of going through a massive declutter, the whole Marie Kondo, whatever doesn't give you joy, pass along. And I want to say it was this past Christmas, maybe the Christmas before. I don't remember exactly, but I gifted her an Urban Decay Naked Palette. Well, lo and behold, we were sitting in the living room and she was talking about how she wanted to downsize makeup that she hadn't touched. I mean, we're talking, wasn't even out of the packaging. And she stores all of her makeup immaculately, and she doesn't have near the collection that I do, but she came in and she said, I know that you spent the last year working really hard on that palette. Would you like to have a duplicate or restock it in your collection? And I was like, what? She has decided to downsize her naked palette. I mean, she gave it to me. She hadn't even opened up the packaging. I did have to throw out the Urban Decay Primer Potion because it had gone rancid, because that's what cream products do. But I was just like, how ironic is this to technically I purchased this naked palette for her, but I wasn't planning on repurchasing the naked palette right now, but sometime in the future. So when she showed up with this and had my name on it and she was like, it's yours, I went, oh my word. So now I have a naked palette back in my possession, so at least we know I'll use it, right? But I mean, just completely untouched, unswatched. I mean, what are the odds? So when I got home from that trip, I went through my collection. I decided to get rid of a ton of stuff because I did end up breaking my no-buy to pick up the Lorac Mega Pro 2. Now, before, you kind of go in and say, why? Why did you do that? I bought the Lorac Mega Pro 2 because when I looked back at my Instagram photos, I realized that it takes me about 6-8 weeks to go through Lorac shades. Because I'm blowing through my Mega Pro palette right now. I'm just about done with my Pro palette. I've already blown through Buff from my Pro 2 palette. And pretty much, I know that if I use slim pans like Lorac shadows, I stand a really good chance of finishing them before they turn old. So, like I said, when I got home after having the Naked palette re-gifted back to me from my sister and buying the Lorac Mega Pro 2, I went on and decided to downsize my Urban Decay Vice palette. I have a very sweet subscriber who has been aching for this for years. I need her to get in touch with me. So girl, if you're watching this, go on and email me at beautymama@gmail.com if you are still interested in purchasing this palette. If she decides not to buy it, I think I'm going to go on and try to sell it regardless, because now that I've kind of gone beyond accepting that it's not a part of my collection anymore. I've had it set apart, and now I'm really not even considering it part of my collection anymore. I'm ready to let this go. But then also I went through all of my eyeshadow palettes and I chose a good, you know, smattering of shades right here of things that I just want to downsize, because when I got the Naked palette back, I went on and went through all of my Books of Shadow and my Too Faced Bonbons palette. I picked out all the shades that looked similar to the 12 shades in the Naked palette. Then I went through my Urban Decay Books of Shadow and got through, you know, shades that I know that I'm just not going to use because I have so many things that are like it. I've got a couple of NYX shadows, like this shadow in Rust. It makes me look really sickly when I wear it, so I went on and downsized it. I've got Urban Decay's Junk Show from the 15th anniversary palette, because who am I kidding? How many times am I going to wear fuchsia eyeshadow? Not too many. I also got rid of this matte pink shade from the Too Faced Romantic Eyes palette, because that shade Strawberry Bonbon in the Chocolate Bar palette is the exact same thing as this. So I figured that would be a good way to kind of get me jump started into really digging into my Chocolate Bar palette. And also too, a lot of these shades look like the Chocolate Bar, as well as some of the shades from the Lorac Mega Pro 2. I know you're really familiar with that palette, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. So, you know, I'm getting rid of all these. And then on top of that, I decided to also go on and downsize a third palette of all of my drugstore combos that I've got going. So I think I'm going to go through one more time and just kind of weed out more of my singles and you know, more of my duos and things. But I really have my collection destashed, and I'm still going to pan my Stila in the Light and in the No palette next year, but when I look at how my palette looks compared to other palettes that I see via YouTube videos and things, I'm wondering if mine has lost its pigmentation because of its age, because some of the shades in there don't look as vibrant as some of the things that I've seen on camera. So I don't know, maybe y'all can comment below if you feel the same about your palettes, because I'm wondering if at least my In the Light palette may be a lost cause. I don't know. Some of the shades, you know, work okay, but when I was looking at, here, I'll pull it out right now, maybe you can see for yourself on camera, but you know, when I was pulling out the shades like Night Sky, this is a lot lighter than what I've seen. And this shade right here, this kind of burgundy shade, it looks really intense in other people's palettes, but it's like a subtle bronze for me. So I don't know if that's as pigmented as it used to be or not. And some of these browns are just a little, you know, just really, really light instead of having the intensity that they used to have. So I don't know. Comment below. Like, I can use them. That's not going to be a problem. But I don't know if it's the same quality, because, you know, eyeshadow over time does deteriorate. So I'd be pretty bummed if that happens, but it's even more reason to go for me with brands like Lorac that I know that I can get through these shades in about 6 weeks. So just kind of wanted to share where I am with that. And then as far as my backup stash goes, I have made so much progress. In fact, I went through and I realized that I have completely eliminated my backup stash as far as foundation primer. Right now, the only one I own and that I'm currently using is the Wet n Wild Face Primer. It looks like the Smashbox Photo Finish. It has kind of the white and black packaging. I've completely eliminated my foundation backup stash. The only thing I have right now is my last bottle of the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous foundation. It actually expires November of this year, so I'll be ready to kind of get what I can out of it, and then I'm going to just start doing one foundation bottle at a time instead of accumulating a bunch. I've also eliminated my backup stash as far as finishing powder or setting powder, so I have one more use out of my Tarte Amazonian Clay Smooth Operator Powder sample, and then sorry, it cut off there, but I did go on and purchase the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores pressed setting powder to go on and try that out, because I literally have no setting powders in my backup stash anymore. And then as far as mascara, Go through your stashes and kind of check those too, because I thought I had quite a stash accumulated as far as mascaras went, but when I started opening them up, a lot of them were dried out. And I'm talking, I had never opened those, you know, containers before. I'd stored them, you know, where they wouldn't be exposed to any moisture. They were out of direct sunlight and all that, and they still dried out on me. So definitely incentive not to hold on to mascara anymore. So now I'm down to the one mascara I'm using, and then I'm gonna go on and just, you know, have no more than one or two from now on. So it feels really good to now be kind of caught up in those areas. So now I can really focus on going through and using my eyeshadow, my lip products, and my cheek products. So it feels good. So I don't feel bad about bringing this into my collection, because considering I'm downsizing 16 shadows out of here, you know, all of the drugstore shadows out of here, and then I've got a good 46 shades in this palette, and I'm thinking of downsizing some more. I feel like I've moved in the right direction. I've downsized a lot more than I'm bringing in, and I know that I can get through these, you know, not just in a timely manner, but I mean, I can whip through them in a couple of weeks. Because I mean, just with my Lorac Mega Pro palette, I'm already on my 4th shade that I'm just about to finish, because like espresso in that palette, which PS, and by the way, I've noticed that I don't have the shattering problems with the Lorac Mega Pro palette that I did with the Pro palette. I know, it's weird, isn't it? Because the pans are shallower. I don't know what's different. Let me just show you if you're kind of curious. But my espresso has not cracked yet, just to kind of give you a sneak peek of where I am with it. But like at this point in my in my Pro palette, this would have shattered all over the place. I would have had to repress it. And it's done just fine. Like I've got a tiny little bit up in the corner here, and then this side piece, and I'm done with it. And then as far as some of these other shades, you can already see the dips in them after only using them a few times. Oh, P.S. and by the way, I wanted to share with you, if you're missing the color light bronze from your Pro palette, take your Mega Pro palette and mix between sand and copper. You get the exact dupe to light bronze. I've actually got it on my lid. I'm wearing fawn and camel in my crease to kind of give me a dupe to taupe. And then I've got brown in my outer third. It's really faint now because I've had it on all day, but it works really well. So I've been impressed that the quality of shadows seems to be more consistent with the Mega Pro palette. I know the Mega Pro 2 does not have as much product as even this palette does, which is very disappointing. I have to admit, I was miffed about that, but like I said, you know, if I can get through each of these shades in a month, it gives me just enough to try it, to love the look, to appreciate the shadows I'm wearing with it, and then I'm done. I'm not keeping eyeshadow for years on end like I have been in the past. So that feels really good. The other thing I did purchase, again, I want to do a separate video on this before the VIB sale, so that if you're interested in picking it up, you can see demos and all that. I picked up the Bite Beauty Opal lipstick. It looks like this. When you pair it under some of your very bold lipsticks, it does a beautiful job of toning them down just enough to where you still get that very bold pigmentation, but it's not unflattering on your skin tone. It will make your teeth appear whiter so you don't wash out. It won't make you look sallow. This color looks really bizarre on me by itself because it's really kind of a purple, like a frosty purple, which does nothing for me. I go on and I like to pair it under lipstick so that I don't have to waste a bunch of product wiping this off, because obviously it's going to take on whatever shade you're putting, you know, it over or whatever. So, you know, just 3 makeup purchases. I don't feel bad about it. And as far as the VIB sale goes, I'm actually going to skip out this time around. I did go on. I would like to receive the Kat Von D Mi Vida Loca Remix palette for Christmas, but if I don't get it, no sweat. But I think I'm going to actually bypass the VIB sale this year. I know, as weird as that sounds, I feel like I'm in a good place with my collection. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I've downsized, you know, an entire Z palette. I've downsized an entire like whole palette, and you know, a bunch of my drugstore shades. So I'm feeling good, really, really good about where I'm heading. So that's about it. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me and being patient with me, because I know it's been a lot, and I just burst out laughing when my sister handed this to me, because I'm like, seriously, you know, I spent a year working on this palette, and here it is in my possession again. So just a weird month. So again, like I said, thank you for sticking it out with me. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will be seeing you very, very soon, because October's almost done. We can calm down before Thanksgiving and Christmas. So that's it for now. I'll be seeing you later. Bye.